To no one's surprise, this is not the video I promised. Originally, this was going to be a Legacy Laser Optimus video, and I got pretty far in making it too. The video was entirely scripted, and I was about halfway through photography when I just kind of got sick of it. I wasn't having any kind of fun, so I just kind of focused on other things. And then my AC went out, I went to Dallas, and it's been over a month since my last review. Again. So I decided to scrap it and try something different. But why tracks, I hear you ask? Well, I shit you not, it came to me in a dream. Welcome to Kit Katastrophe. My name is Kit, and today we'll be taking a look at Transformers Kingdom Deluxe Class Autobot Tracks. This figure was released in 2021 as part of Wave 3 of the Deluxe Assortment. This video is brought to you in part by ToyHacks.com, your one-stop shop for Transformers upgrade stickers and more, and have already made a stunning sticker sheet for this figure. Use the promo code JULYOKaiser before July ends to earn 15% off your next order, and check out my community tab to find the latest promo codes. Using the code supports the channel. I'm not sure there's a character so intrinsically tied to a very specific alternate mode as Trax is. Bumblebee has both his Beetle and Camaro forms to contend with, Starscream has been all manner of fighter jet, and Optimus can be whatever he damn well pleases, but Trax is and has always been a Corvette lover. And for Raoul, a Corvette lover. It's a fairly small but sleek car mode, much narrower than you'd expect, though my expectations may be colored a bit by the reveal of the Shield figure's squatter sensibilities. 2 of his wheels are pinned, which I guess counts as a premium feature these days, and all 4 are painted in a brilliant silver. He's cast and painted in a very rich blue, probably one of my favorite shades, though this flat red flame decal is kind of jarring. It's supposed to be accurate to the Sunbow cartoon, which I'm not even sure Fleur O'Deary's Strongest Soldier really wanted. Given how much of a priss Trax is about his paint job, you'd think it actually, look decent. He did end up spending most of it covering up these huge swaths of clear plastic. I refrain from belaboring the point as much as I can, as Lazy Eyebrow crunched the numbers and everything, but it really is a poor show, and will prove to be a colossally stupid design choice when we get to Transformation here shortly. It seems Hasbro's beginning to move away from this practice, at least when it comes to certain re-releases of crack-addicted victims like Studio Series Jazz, so maybe someday Trax will get the same treatment. Not that he deserves it. Taking a little detour for a moment, what Trax would be complete without his iconic bullshit flying car mode? And don't just say alternators. It's one of the most tenuous things I've ever seen, but fits this toy like a glove. Make of that as you will. I don't have a lot else to say about it besides that I like that they molded in some intakes on the backside of Trax's wrists, so let's move on to robot mode, shall we? I swear to all that's good and holy, this transformation scheme gave me a hernia. It is one of the most frustrating, ill-conceived crimes against humanity I've ever witnessed. It makes me envy the dead. Trax's endless sea of translucent plastic must bend and flex like waves crashing upon a rocky cliff, tempting fate with each and every application of pressure. Fenders twirl and bonnets split as a fractal of struts and joints spill from Trax's legs, freely moving towards their destinations yet taking no notice once they've arrived, their velocity carrying them to infinity. All that is to say, he feels like a breakage waiting to happen, and his legs aren't very solid. I don't mean to jump on the clear plastic bad bandwagon or anything, but this is one of the worst examples I can think of. There's just too much pressure and flexing necessary to transform Trax's backpack that I can't help but believe in my heart of hearts that something is going to break someday. And if Trax's legs have anything to say about it, that something is my patience. It's not like that sorry excuse for a transformation made Trax a stunner in his robot mode anyway. Ironically, for potentially the vainest of Autobots, he looks very plain. His proportions are kind of nothing, his already flat torso melts away into his backpack, and I'll try not to beat a dead horse. And honestly, for as vain as Trax is, he doesn't have a whole lot in the way of distinctiveness. Sure, he has his shoulder wings, which is pretty odd if you're a robot who turns into an automobile, unless your name is Prowl. I suppose that bright red face placed neatly within that blanched helmet makes for a pretty memorable mug, though his floating Rayman ankles might be an even better conversation starter. I can't even say the paint job is much better in this mode, as even here it's mostly spent covering up shit that should have been molded in the painted colors to begin with, like those doors on his shins. Don't get me started on his shins. If there's anything you knew about this figure before you clicked play, it'd be the shins. They just don't hold together, and were only allegedly designed to do so in the first place. I'm aware of a so-called fix for this problem, but it's neither something I trust myself attempting, nor is it something I should have to do in the first place. Fortunately, on both him and Road Rage, it's only really a problem when you're trying to pose him, so for all of you who just want to plop him on a shelf in a neutral stance, that is to say, all of you watching right now, will be just fine. Trax comes with 2 accessories to try to butter us back up after the disgraceful display. First is a bulbous black pistol that's been waffled to shit, and then there's this double-barreled whatchamacallit that nestles nicely on top of his backpack, mimicking les stupides accoutrements he sported in the Sunbow cartoon. They can also be stapled to the car mode and look at least a little more at home in flight mode, but I can plainly see you're not keeping a straight face either. At least reveal the shield had the decency to give him proper shoulder rockets. 20 points of articulation is all you get out of the box with Trax, though with a little creative counting, you could bump that number up a little higher. Just be careful. Being reckless with counting joints is part of the reason I'm hiding in Carbombi in the first place. The IRS can't get me here. Anyway, Trax's ball-jointed neck is lamentably limited with his protruding spinal column and his slightly popped collar, while his hips have to contend with the single-component front skirt, exposing a very unsightly mushroom joint. I've already said my piece regarding the knees, but the shoulders are a little wonky as well, since the wings move along with the outward arm motion, and as I alluded to earlier, he has a transformation joint that can be dubiously counted as a backwards butterfly if that's your style. Oh shit, I guess they found my compound again. I better wrap this up quick. Kingdom Trax is genuinely the worst post-siege carbot I can think of. There's hardly a redeeming quality about him. His alternate mode has a fine enough shape, but it doesn't make up for an astonishingly harebrained transformation scheme and a whole mode and a half that do less than the bare minimum to hold together. This is what people mean by the word chug slob. It's not lost on me that I've admitted to owning 2 of this mold, but rest assured that Trax and Road Rage will probably be the next figures I sell off from my collection in due time. And that's assuming I can offload them to some other schmuck who'd be better off ignoring them entirely. But what are your thoughts on Trax? As always, let me know in the comments or tell me to my face by joining the Crew of Kit Discord server linked in the description. Be sure to subscribe for more reviews like this in the future. From now on, who knows what's in store? This has been Kit Katastrophe. Transform and roll out.